year after year, whenever they had their surplus announcements, I would make sure that when I was on the air that Calgarians knew about it. We see this every year, that they underestimate what the revenues are going to be, overestimate their expenses, they generate surpluses, and then they put it into their surplus accounts, and then they increase taxes. So that's something that Calgarians are going to have to hold them to account for, but we watch that, we see that, we know that they're running surpluses, so we know that they have means to be able to support their most urgent priorities. We also know we have a responsibility to support these big projects, and we're going to support these big projects. But we have 350 municipalities in Alberta that we have to take care of. And I can tell you, there are only 2 cities that are getting over $600 million to support their LRT systems, and that's Calgary and Edmonton. And so we have to be mindful that we've got to be fair, and we're going to continue to be fair going forward. We want to make sure that our 2 big cities are supported, but we also have to make sure that all of our municipalities get the resources that they need to. Well, I would say I'm always open to hearing from our mayors and our municipal associations about where there might be funding gaps. But I would also mention a couple of weeks ago, I saw the City of Calgary bragging about a $238 million surplus, most of which they put into reserves, $200 million of which was unexpected because of their overcharging on local access fees. So we've had to correct that. I think they do have means because of the extraordinary increase in regulated rate option and how they charge their fees to be able to address some local pressures, and I'm glad they have the ability to have their own source revenue to do that. We also fund the city $225 million in local government fiscal framework funding to support their priorities. We also, and I may as well just go through the list here, Rick, 18 school projects in Calgary, $55 million to the University of Calgary, $667 million over 3 years for Calgary LRT, including $43.4 million to extend the Blue Line to 88th Avenue to support future connection with the airport, $524 million over the next 3 years for Deerfoot Trail upgrades, $7.8 million to develop the Olympic Plaza and expand the existing Arts Commons, $103 million over the next 3 years to develop long-term care beds, $70 million over 3 years to increase capacity at the Foothills Neonatal Clinic, $67 million to redevelop the Peter Lougheed Centre, $48 million for the Calgary Cyclotron facility, $700 million to relocate kidney patients for Northwest Dialysis. We've got a number of ways in which we support the City of Calgary, and in fact we're very diligent in making sure that we have equivalency between our 2 major cities. I believe we're up to about $3 billion in capital funding for both Calgary, or for each of Calgary and Edmonton over the next 3 years. So I know there's always pressures at the city, and I think we've identified a great number of them, and we're funding them.